Good morning. Today you're going to calculate the slope if you're given the graph of a line. So open to your vocab list, pause the video, and copy the following vocab word. The ratio, so slope is the ratio of the vertical change of a line to the horizontal change of a line, or the rise over the run. So it's a measure of the steepness of a line. So the steeper the line, the greater the slope. So again, it's the ratio of the change in the vertical direction to the change in the horizontal direction. So we'll look at some examples of what that means today. So here we have a couple lines. So we have a line that has a positive slope, so it's increasing from left to right. So if you're climbing a mountain from left to right, that's called a positive slope. And if from left to right you're going down, that's a negative slope. And then a horizontal line like this one, we call a zero slope. So if you think about it, it's the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. But when there's zero slope, there's no no vertical change. And then undefined slope is a vertical line, which means if you think of rise divided by run, there is a vertical change, but zero horizontal change. And as we've talked about before, you are unable to divide by zero. That's undefined. So you have to kind of memorize that horizontal is zero slope, and then vertical up and down is an undefined slope. So here are some examples that we will do together. So you can write these down. I've provided you with a PDF if you want to print it, or you could just take notes on here. So all of these examples have 2 points that are marked on the line. And what you have to do is figure out what's the vertical change from one point to the other. So we have, let's see, so we're going down 3, 4, 5, 6. So we call that a rise of -6, and then we go to the right, +3. So it's a run of 3. So this slope is -6/3, or a -6:3 ratio. And we can simplify, so I would expect you to simplify all of these. And that would be, so divide by 3 is -2 to 1. So it's a negative slope because it's decreasing. And this means for every 2 units that you go down, you go to the right 1 unit. So let me mark this with, I'll mark it with green. So yes, we went down 6 and right 3, but it's in simplest form, you're going down 1 and to the right, down 2 and to the right 1. Whoops, this just moved on me. So you can look at this as going down 2, right 1. So for every point on the line, you can locate another point by going down 2 and to the right 1. Now, what if you decide you want to go, you wanted to start at the bottom point? Well, that's perfectly fine. So let's watch what happens here. So you could start at the bottom point, and then you're going up 3, 4, 5, 6, and left 3. So that would be 6 over -3. So the -3 on the bottom, a run of -3, means you're going, darn thing, it means you're going left 3 and up 6. So it's the same idea. You're just locating another point, but going in the reverse direction. So that would simplify to 2 over -1. So these are equivalent, and that makes sense. -2 divided by 1 is -2, but 2 divided by -1 is also -2. So you could start at either point. The idea is you start at a point that's easy to locate. So let's go to number 2. So I'll start at the left point, and then we can go, that's a rise of 1, up 1, and right 3. So 1 to 3 ratio of rise to run. And that's already in simplest form. Now, you could also write these in decimal, so that would be 0.3 repeating. But for the most part in this class, at least for a while, we'll be using fractions. So this slope is positive 1/3. You're going up 1 and right 3. And then you can continue to locate points with that pattern. And we know that's equivalent to 2/6. So you could have started at a point and go up 2 and right 6, and you'll also locate a point. If you changed it to 0.3 repeating, technically you could go up 0.3 repeating into the right 1, and you would locate another point as well. So number 3, just looking at the graph, would you expect it to be a positive or a negative slope? Negative slope, because it's going down as you move left to right. So we start at the point, and you're going down 1, and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a slope of -1/5. Again, you could have started at the right point and go up 1, and then left 5, and that would be 1 over -5, which is equivalent. So either way is correct, but it is a negative slope. And then number 4, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the right 4. So this has a steepness or slope of 6/4, but we always write these in simplest form, so that's 3/2. It's also 1.5. So let's think, if it was written as 1.5, you could start at any point, and then you would go up 1.5, and then to the right 1, and you would locate another point on the graph. And then number 5, so what's the rise here? 1, and the run is 3, so the steepness is 1/3, or 0.3 repeating. And then number 6, we're going down 1 and to the right 1. So that's a -1 slope. And you could leave it over 1 just as a reminder that that's the run, or you could just write it as an integer. Either way. Okay, so for this page, we have a horizontal line. So number 1 is horizontal. Let's write that just in case you forget the word. And so horizontal line, well, let's think. The rise, there is no rise. So rise is 0. And then the run could be any number, but from these points, the run would be 4. So 0 divided by 4 is 0. So remember, a horizontal line has a slope of 0. And then number 2 is a vertical line. And therefore, so if we just look at those 2 points, the rise is 1 and the run is 0. Remember, you cannot ever divide by 0, so that's undefined. If you don't believe me, type 1 divided by 0 into your calculator or ask Siri, and then you will realize it's an error, undefined. So you can never divide by 0. So a vertical line is undefined slope, and horizontal is 0 slope. So go ahead and pause the video and then do these 6. And here are the answers. So you have number 1 is up 1 and to the right 5, so it's positive 1/5. Now if you started at the top point, it would be down 1 and to the right 5. So down 1 and to the right 5 would be -1 over -5, which is still positive 1/5. So those are equivalent. Number 2 is -7. Number 3 is 3/5. 4 is 0. It's horizontal. 5 is negative 1/2 in simplest form, or negative 0.5. And number 6 is undefined because it's a vertical line. And now to summarize, we have horizontal lines have 0 slopes. You can write this down in your notes. Vertical lines have undefined slope because you can't divide by 0. Lines that increase from left to right have positive slope. Lines that decrease from left to right have a negative slope. And then to calculate the slope from the graph, you're going to choose 2 easy points on the line. Find the vertical change. Up is positive, down is negative. Determine the horizontal change. Left is negative, right is positive. And then divide and simplify the fraction. And for us, we will leave the fraction in simplest form. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email your teacher. Your homework, which will be due tomorrow at 8 a.m., is IXL D7M, and remember you get a score of 80 for full credit and 100 for extra credit. Take care, everybody.